Hi everybody out there in Stay Home, Stay Safe Beadland. This is Leslie Rogowski, Creative Director for the Beadsmith, here with another Facebook Live. Today, as promised, I'm going to walk you step by step through making kite beaded beads. Check these out. These are really very easy and very fast. Hi Dave, hi Leslie. I have repositioned my phone and camera, so hopefully I will stay on screen now. But look at these. I mean, these are kind of like stash busters, really. They use only 8 kites per beaded bead, and a pinch of 11s and a pinch of 15s. And then once you have beaded beads, of course, you can't make just one. Hey, Kathy, always good to see you tuning in. So look, these are all different colors of kites, which of course are beads that come in fabulous colors and finishes, polychrome and opaque and all sorts of good stuff. And if you're like me, I mean, like I said, you just have to make tons of them, and you can make bracelets and necklaces and earrings. I took a bunch of beads. Thank you, Leslie Pope, for helping me make some samples up. And I just strung these on a beading wire with some seed beads and some fire polished donuts in between, so you can see that when you're finished, the potential is just, well, shall I say sky high? And then I put some on these just little head pins with some beads and made these cool earrings. I would wear them anyway. Okay, so as usual, as I promise, there's a full illustrated tutorial. I got practice in making dimensional drawings for this one because it's a dimensional project. So hopefully this will all be clear for you, and let's go through it right away. I have a 30-inch, give or take, piece of thread. You want to use a thread that will blend in or camouflage with the color kite beads that you're using. And because you're using 15s, I suggest a size 12 needle. That's a nice thin needle. Now I've gone ahead and put a needle on both ends just to save some time, because you will be working with the tail thread on one end of the bead and then your working thread on the other. So the first thing we're going to do is pick up a 15 and a kite 4 times, and we're going to pick up the kite through the long side. If you recall or you're not familiar, hi Janet Mark, if you're not familiar with kites, they have a long end and a wide end like a kite, right? Tail and nose, but I call them long end and wide end. So we're going to start by picking up the 15 and the kite long end 4 times. That's 1. I always feel like I want to rush through when it's a stepped out, but I want you guys to get this because they're really they were so much fun. And a lot of us have extra time on our hands these days to do something crafty. So hopefully you'll have these in your stash. Okay, 4 15s and 4 kites, and I'm going to sew through them again. And I just hold them kind of taut between my fingers. Make sure you don't skip. You're going to want to repeat the thread path each time, because this needs a firm tension in order to keep the beads holding this nice diamond shape so they don't get too squishy. So you're going to sew through that again, and you're going to bring it up till you have a tail of 8 or 10 inches is plenty. And you're going to tie the tail and the working thread together in a little knot. I feel like I should have music playing in the background. All right, so you're going to tie that And I tie it in a square knot, not just a half hitch. So I do it 1, 2, there we go. Do you see how these are now peaked in a little dimension? That's the top of your bead. Now you're going to leave your tail. I have my reason for doing it this way instead of with one long working thread is so you avoid having to weave your thread through the whole bead. So you're going to proceed to create your bead and finish off the one end, and then you're going to use your tail to finish off the other end. It's just a little tidier to try to hide your threads and not be too finicky. You don't want to keep trying to weave through on this one because you have the little 15s. Okay, so there's my knot with my tail coming off up here and my working thread. You always want to sew away from your knot. Okay, I'm going to sew through the 15 and the kite. You can see that there. Hi, Mare, my buddy. All right, and I'm coming out of this hole. Now I need to step up to come down to this other hole on the wide end, but if I do it on these beads, because you can see the side, you would see the thread. So what I've done is created a little trick where I'm bringing my thread underneath the bead. I'm actually crossing underneath and going back through like this. So the thread will be showing on the underside of your kite, but that's going to be inside the bead, so it's totally hidden, so you have no step-up thread showing. How's that? All right, the next thing we're going to do is add the bottom part of the kites, and here's where our 11s come in. We're going to pick up an 11, a kite through the wide end, and an 11. Oh, Jeanette's saying she's used kite beads for the first time and liked them. This is a really great, way to become familiar with this. They're just these nice geometric shapes, even with their little bit of asymmetry. Okay, so I have an 11, a kite through the wide end, and an 11, and I'm going to sew through the next kite wide end. And I'm going to repeat this around. 11, kite wide end, 11, and sew through the next kite. Now the tail thread, just keep that out of the way. It's a little bit annoying, but trust me, I've made these beads many different ways, and this is my favorite way to do them. Hi to the UK. I guess we're as good as everybody else. At least we have our beads, right? 11, kite. Oh, and by the way, and it'll say this in the tutorial, which is already up on our I Love Beads site, that when you work with two-holed beads, you want to always check to make sure that both holes are clear before you use them in any stitching. So you can sort of pre-check your beads and set them aside for when you use them. So I'm working my way around. 11, kite, 11. When you get back to the first kite that you exited, you're going to repeat this thread path. And you're going to go all the way around again and come out here. I'm going to skip that step just for expediency's sake, but you want to make sure that this is pulled as snug as you can. Now we're going to do that same little trick to step up to the long hole here. And we're coming out of the kite, we're going to crisscross underneath, and then go through the step-up hole, the outer hole, going in the same direction around that we were working. So again, we're going to have that step-up thread hidden underneath, like this. Okay, now we're going to add 15s around to bring the bead to its peak on the other side. And you can see how I'm finding different ways to hold this. However you want to hold it, that works. So it doesn't get too fiddly for you. And you're going to add a 15 between each of the kite long ends at the other end of the bead. Now what happens after this, I found the first time I made this that the space that was created, that was left between the 15 and the tips of the beads, meant that when I strung it, it was going to wobble on my thread. So the step that comes next helps to create a narrower opening, so when you do string this on thread or wire, it stays centered. So I'm just adding my 15s. And I'm going to go around through this again. Make sure you don't skip any. So I'm just going to pull that tight, and you can see there's the bead forming. Now I want you to notice that my tail thread is coming out of the middle here. It should be coming out the end. So you do want to be careful. You can actually feed the end through and bring it out the end. I'll do that later. All right, so we have our 15s between the other long ends of the kite beads, and I'll go around a couple times so that it stays. You really want to go through these as many times as possible without it getting, you know, too challenging. You do not want to break a bead. Okay, I'm just going to stop there. Now I want you to notice, let's find one that you can see here on the white bead. Do you see how there's two red ones and then the gold ones at the tip? The gold ones are how I close up that opening. So we're going to make little fringes, little picot fringes coming out of one of the 15s. We're going to pick up another 15 and an 11, pull them down like that. Now we're going to go back through just the 15. So the 11 makes like a little picot tip, and you want to circle around and go through the 15. So if you're coming out the left-hand side of the 15, you're going to now go in through the right-hand side and come out the left again. And you have that little fringe sticking up. And you can see that we're going to then go through the kite and the next 15. Pick up a 15 and an 11. Bring it down. Don't go back through the 11 because that'll fall away. Go back through the 15 that you just strung and continue in the direction around the bead through the 15 and the kite. There, I'm going to go through the next 15. And you can see that if you give a tug, you're going to have those nice little fringes. Pretty easy. Now somebody asked me once, you know, like what technique are you using for this? It's not really any particular technique. It's something that's just invented to sew the beads together. So it's not an official kind of a stitch like peyote or brick. Sometimes they're just made up. Designers just make stuff up in order to get the beads together. We're on the last fringe of 15 and 11. Pull it down. Go back through the 15 just strung. Through that 15. Whoops, get it in there. The 15 that was strung between the kites. And you're going to go through the next kite and the very first 15 that you exited to do this part of the bead. All right, pull them snug. Now we're going to go out. We want to come out one of these 11s. So we're going to sew out the 15 that was strung on the fringe. And through the 11. Next, sew through each of the other 11s. You can do it one at a time. And it doesn't matter which way you go through at this point because they're all sort of pivoting on that fringe tip. When you get back to the first one though, you want to make sure you're going in the other side from the side that you were going out. Now watch. See how that pulls together into this nice little quartet of 11s? That's going to make a nice, snug, small opening to hold your thread or cord or wire. And you are going to sew through these as many times as your needle will work. I can go at least 3 times around. And you're going to keep snugging that up, and you're adding row after row or round after round of thread to form a little barrier ring that's going to keep your thread or cord nice and centered coming out the tip of the bead. And you're going to do that over and over and over. And then you don't have to knot it or anything. The thread's going to be so snug in there that you're going to be able to take your thread zap or your scissors and just carefully go right up to the thread. Okay, now we have our tail thread. I see where it got caught. So that's going to be coming out from the top. You're going to thread a needle on your thread and repeat the step that you just did to make the little opening on the side. And you will end up with nice closed, well, not totally closed, nice snug openings for your stringing material. That's it, you guys. So you can see, you can vary the colors, you can play with contrast. Just remember to check the holes to make sure they're both clear, and to sew a couple times through, as the instructions will tell you, to make sure this bead is nice and snug. Now I found also, because there's a little bit of give, just a little bit, when you string it, you can pull these tight to really make the sort of the equator of these pop out into that nice diamond shape. What do you think? That's it. Kite beaded beads. The pattern is already up on the Beadsmith website under the I Love Beads page of free patterns. That page is divided into categories according to bead shape. So you're going to go to I Love Beads, you're going to look for the kite beads, and the PDF is there for you to download and enjoy. Any questions? Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Again, I'm Leslie Rogalski, Creative Director for the Beadsmith. We love beads. And remember, you can find kite beads and other Beadsmith quality beads, tools, and supplies from your favorite bead reseller. Let's give those businesses our business because they need it during these times. Stay safe, stay home, keep beading. See ya!